guys, time for another episode of what kind of crap did Pat spend his money on this time? But before I get into that, progress on the C9, making a lot of progress here, although not going to see much of it right now. The engine block and upper suspension are on it. Everything's painted up. I was, of course, wrong on the color that I was going to end up mixing up on the transmission housing there. I was thinking it was going to come out a brown. No, it came out actually a really cool looking grayish, metallic gray color. You can see I detail painted. Whoops. Where'd it go? Come on, focus, dum-dum. Well, anyways, there. Down here, I just added a little bit of brass to either end of those pipes and just touched up in there, or hit those little straps around, whatever that is. I think that holds the blinker fluid. Let's see. So, things I've been buying. I've been going crazy on eBay lately. Getting kits. First, what I'm going to show off, or not really show off, well, show off. The McLaren MP4 Honda. Car that was raced in the 1992 Formula 1 season. This was the last McLaren Honda collaboration. It had a Honda V12, normally aspirated, no turbochargers or anything like that. Probably would have been a really good car that year had it not been for the Williams FW14B, which just dominated the season. As it stands, again, this is kind of another car from the sweet spot in Formula 1 design, for me, anyway. Super cool looking, but I'm, of course, going to have to get some Marlboro decals for it. Maybe I showed this off in another video. I don't know. Everything inside the box looks really good. Decal sheet is actually in really good condition. So that's really nice. But again, I'm going to have to get Marlboro decals for this one to just make it look right. Let's see here. Next up, another Formula 1 car. Going back a little bit on this one in terms of timeline. This was from 1986. This was from the previous turbocharged era in Formula 1. This car was powered by also a Honda engine, but it was a 1.5 liter V6 turbo. These cars put out pretty much 1,000 horsepower depending on the trim. Qualifying trim, they would put the boost up, and these cars would crank out about 1,000 horsepower to the wheels. No traction control or anything like that. It was all down to the drivers back in these days. No paddle shifters either. It was all a manual transmission, a stick. In most cases, a 6-speed gated gearbox, or 5. In actually a lot of cases, they were still 5 speeds. You know, truth be told, not my favorite era of Formula 1 cars. The design on these cars is just not. You know, they're just kind of dull, but I like the Williams cars. I think they're one of my favorite teams in Formula 1. I was a little bit disappointed when I opened this box up because the decals inside, let me see if I can get this open. The decals inside are in pretty good shape for the most part. I could totally use most of them, except you can see the Honda decals down there are starting to yellow just a little bit. You know, if I wasn't super picky, this would be just fine. They're not cracked, they're not dried out and cracked yet, so they're still in really good shape. I don't know when this kit was actually made. I'm assuming it was around the time of the car, so somewhere in the you know, everything on the box is 1986. That, you know, I don't know if that's exactly when it was made or not, but decals in this one are still in pretty good shape. I could use them if I wanted, but I did get an aftermarket set just because of that yellowing on the Honda logo. And then the final kit for this one is yet another Tamiya kit, and another one of my favorite eras in racing, the Newman-Haas Lola T93 from 1993, driven by Nigel Mansell, one of my all-time favorite drivers. He came over to IndyCar after winning the Formula One World Championship, drove for Newman-Haas, won the championship in IndyCar, drove for one more season, and then went back to Formula One. Ran not entire seasons. He just ran partial seasons because Formula One and politics. This car, super cool. You don't see a lot of these, and this is a snap kit, which is odd. I've never seen one of these before, and I don't think I've seen one of these before for Tamiya. Again, for IndyCar type stuff, this is my favorite era in IndyCars. 1991 to about 1999, these cars were just super awesome. You had a multitude of manufacturers making engines. You had Ford, Mercedes, Honda. I think Toyota made engines for a while. I'm probably even forgetting somebody. Yeah, so one of my favorite cars from that era. One of my favorite drivers. However, I was exceptionally disappointed when I opened this one, because when I got the decals out, first decal sheet is in pretty good shape, although it is dried out and cracked. So without some decal film, you know, that fluid stuff you can paint over the top, you can kind of see where they're cracked up there. Without some of that, you know, or using some of that decal sheet would be okay. The next decal sheet, however, is completely junked. You can see where it's cracked, but it's also the decals. The white is turning brown in spots, like right there. That's awful. Yeah, this really disappointed me, because I was like, oh crap, how am I going to get those? I, did a quick look on eBay. Couldn't find anything on eBay. But fortunately, I found a website called indycals.net that has aftermarket decals for this exact kit. So for $12, got a full set of what should be really good decals coming for this. But I mean, that's the gamble, getting kits off of eBay. You don't know what you're getting all the time. Yeah, anyways, like I said, I was super disappointed, but I'm happy now that I've found some aftermarket stuff to fix them. Anyways, just showing off some cool stuff that I picked up. I've got a few more kits on the way, I think, or 2 more kits on the way. I'll show those off when I get them. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, everybody.